This is a video clip of a pod within Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard between 113th and 114th. This area was planted about 2 years ago with native plants donated by Rockefeller Center under the leadership of Daniel Atha, urban ecologist, and Robert McLean from the Parks Department. And I wanted to show you the progress of these plantings after a rather basic cleanup that I did this morning. And I can point out some of the plants, but you'll see just by virtue of the flowers and the seed heads and the colorful fresh green leaves that the site is remarkably healthy. So I'm going to walk around the pod, and as I get to the southern point, I'm going to start to identify plants that Daniel and his team from the Parks Department put in. So I'm going around the garbage and starting here. So this dusky seed head is an herbaceous native perennial called boneset. Next to it is one of many asters with blue flowers, and it's likely a New York aster. This shiny-leaved bush is a low-growing sumac. This is one of many pennisedums with their attractive seed heads, but a cultivar. This is a smooth-leaved aster, I believe, which seeds readily, so we'll see it all over the site, as well as this boneset, which is in the genus of Eupatorium, very successful here. The ground cover is weedy, but reasonably healthy. This shrub here, I believe, is an Ilex verticillata. Don't hold me to that. And up here is this tall shrub with this diaphanous seed head. This is Hamamelis. Hamilofolia, which has a common name in this region, groundsel. It's a very it's relatively salt-tolerant tree. It's native, it's very aggressive, but it's useful in a site like this. And it's absolutely beautiful at this time of year. And then we go on to some other shrubs, which I'm not sure of this one, but this one looks like another ilex. And then a different type of blue flowered aster. This is, don't think it's smooth leaves, but moving right along. This appears to be a blueberry, I believe, Vaccinium. And this is an aronia with gorgeous berries and nice color. This is more smooth-leaved aster, which you see has some pollinators on it. The flower is flat open, which is distinguished from some aster flowers, which are tighter and smaller. There's a pennisedum, not a pennisedum, but a penstemon seed head. And then this is a heath aster, white flower, tiny, sort of low to the ground. It's lovely. It's doing very well. Look at that, the shadows. More smooth-leaved aster. We're about halfway down the pod. This is a cornus, probably a cornus moss, which is in the dogwood family. And of course I failed to mention that the main trees planted in this pod years ago are all London planes, and for which we are so proud of their health. This is aronia. There's kind of a bare spot here, and I'll note that most of the garbage appears in these bare spots where there's lots of plant material that's at least 18 inches tall. There's less garbage. Here is an unusual oak. I believe that was intentionally planted. I think it's Quercus iligifolia, which has an interesting shaped leaf. Here's more cornus moss, or it's a cornus anyway. There in the backdrop is a wonderful smooth-leaved aster. It's one of Daniel Aitha's favorite plants, and he uses it in other sites. Here's an echinacea with its flowers still quite prominent. This appears to be a very stunted Amelanchier or shadbush. It may be one of the species that is low growing. Here's another Baccharis hamilofolia. Take a good look at this marvelous diaphanous seed heads in November. And more smooth-leaved aster. Sometimes the leaf houses distinguish it, but it's just very promiscuous. It just seeds out everywhere. And then behind it is a marvelous sumac, probably a staghorn sumac, and that's the genus Rus. So we have two sumacs in this pod. One is the low-growing sumac, and then this one is the staghorn sumac, which you see by the roadside. It's got wonderful autumn color and it's a great native, but it is very aggressive. This is another aronia. Look at those huge berries. Chokeberry is the common name. Lots of smooth-leaved aster. That is a different aster, I forget which kind. And then we're back with the little heath aster in the front. And here we had some problems with garbage and rat holes, but this can be amended with some care, a shovel, and possibly some replanting and then more plants. And you see even the blue-leaf aster is seeding around the cracks of the pod, which is a wonderful accent to the health of this exquisite pod on Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard between 113 and 114. Thanks for tuning in. Caitlin Griffin Gardner for the New York City Department of Parks. Stay tuned for another update on our park properties, gardens, and flowers.